Hi, today we are going to talk about the triangle of surface level perception. It's an interesting thing, how we see the world and how we relate to the world. When we observe the world from our lower mind, we're always seeing the world through the lens of fear. And when we see the world through the lens of fear, we create two instruments that become its main tools in deciphering the threats that are entering your world. So, just to give you a sense, there's you, and I apologize for the rather childlike drawing, and the way you see the world. So there's the world, and all of what is happening in the world coming towards you. And when you are watching it, what you do is you put on a lens, and we call that the lens of fear. And what that does is it uses two sets of tools that you have built up over the years. One of them is called judgment, and the other is called cynicism. Cynicism, and the other plus skepticism. Now we have particular definitions in there for cynicism and skepticism. We'll just go through with that. So judgment, the capacity for you to look at what's happening in the world coming through to you and looking at it from a place of fear, saying, oh, this is threatening me. So I don't know whether it is actually or not, but I'm going to view it as a potential threat. So what I'm going to do, how do I know it's a threat or not? Well, what I'm going to do is to go back into my library, which is in my memories, which is based on all of the experiences and everything I've ever encountered in my past, both in your current past, in your current life, and perhaps in all past lives, if there are such things. It's an open mind. And you use that reference to make an assessment of what is coming towards you to decide whether or not it's threatening. Now, this is really interesting because you need to look at whether or not, when you are actually doing that, you are assessing it realistically or not. Now, quite a lot of us have a tendency to stand by a judgment. No, I think that person is a terrible human being, and I judge that person as such, and I'm not going to talk to that person. And we say, yeah, and we hold that judgment, and we hold it for eternity. We will never let go of it, and we'll defend that judgment to the maximum. So that's one aspect of what we do. The second aspect, as time goes on, we accumulate lots and lots and lots of information, lots of judgments. And as we accumulate them, we develop two interesting ways of viewing the world. One is through cynicism. Out here, we create a cynicism. It is the perception of inevitability. You say, oh, I'm cynical. That's the way it is. Nothing's going to change. It's the way it's going to be. The other one is skepticism. We have a view of the world which is a perception of impossibility. That is not possible. It cannot happen that way. Now the unfortunate problem is, as we live in this world, as you can imagine, this does work in this interesting triangle. In a way, this triangle is quite interesting because if you put judgment on this side and put CNS, cynicism and skepticism, on this side, and you watch what it does, it takes you to a point. So it is kind of like fear generates that, but it also brings it back here. Because the more you judge and you're cynical, the more fearful you become. So when you make a judgment, of somebody, what you then do is you feed the fear that originally drove your choice to judge. And the fear then enhances and promotes and pushes the judgment into a place where somewhere down the line it will end up as a cynicism or a skepticism. And you will notice that we will go through life cynical, skeptical, and resigned. And we just sit back going, well, that's the way it is. Very hard to change anything. What we like to teach you is to understand that this actually is an illusion. And the only reason you have created all of that is because you chose to view the world through the lens of fear. And if you decide to take that lens of fear out and see the world in a different way, without the lens, see the world through the lens of love, then perhaps, I'm sure you do understand that those judgments, cynicisms and skepticisms could change. And perhaps as a result, the world that you live in, the reality that you live in, which fills you with dread and fear and anxiety at the moment, maybe by altering this and viewing the world again, perhaps there is a chance for you to remove all that anxiety, remove all that stress and tension that fills your world. Perhaps we might give you the opportunity to experience the world as a source of joy and fulfillment and satisfaction and happiness and expression and freedom. What do you think about that? That's my question to you. Feel free to contact us and talk to us. We've got wonderful teachings that will help you. A lot of this stuff you can pick it up from our website. But think about it. What if I changed this? And what if I stepped out of this triangle of fear? What if I stepped out of this triangle and viewed the world differently? That is my question to you. I wish you luck. And I hope you have a great insight that comes out of this exploration. Thank you for listening to me.